started the Way of the Mr. series 12 years ago. That's what WOTM stands for, by the way. These videos were originally a satirical pushback to the Way of the Master series started by Christian excusegist ordinaire Ray Comfort, also known as the Banana Man, and Ray's at the time sidekick Kirk Cameron of Growing Pains fame. As long as they had each other, they had the world spinning right in their hands. It was amazing. Over time, the series has turned into a straight-up counter-apologetic series where we've looked at videos, articles, books, etc. from the likes of various Christian excusegists. In doing that, I've realized that each of these excusegists continually make the same basic error when making the case for God's existence, the resurrection, slavery, free will, etc. Since I've had a bit of success coining new terms here like foreman, denoting a former Mormon like myself, low bar bill for William Lane Craig, and excusegist rather than apologist, I thought I'd take another stab at it. So, I think all of these excusegists are suffering from a serious cognitive deficiency I will, from here on out, refer to as Godzheimers. Eager to make their case for whatever it is God needs their help with, Christians end up forgetting something important about God's character, abilities, or nature. That's Godzheimers. Often they'll forget about one of God's omniproperties, omniscience, omnipotence, or omnibenevolence. Other times, they'll forget something about God's nature, like his existing outside time or his infinite goodness. A few months back, we looked at Low Bar Bill's comments to Alex O'Connor, the comic skeptic, regarding the creation of the universe, wherein Bill talks about God making a decision prior to the existence of time.
So the insufficiency of the cause before, let's say, if there's the wrong language, but before the universe exists, the insufficiency of the cause, which means that it hasn't existed yet, is prior in explanation rather than prior in time.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that what you call the insufficiency of the cause is due to the fact that the free will of this being has not chosen to create the universe. This being has not made such a decision. But the instant that such a decision is made, time comes into being. Indeed, the decision is explanatorily prior to the first instant of time.
Yeah. When you say the free, it's because of the freedom of the being, and the free being hasn't made the decision. It feels like that it's begging for the word yet to be on the end of that. It hasn't made the decision yet, you know?
That is funny, isn't it, Bill? How you're trying to have your cake, a God who exists outside time, whatever that means, and eat it too, giving your God the ability to make decisions which require time prior to the creation of time.
The instant that such a decision is made, time comes into being.
But instants don't exist, Bill, without time. You see, Bill has forgotten how time works and how God's existing outside time makes things like acting or deciding impossible. That's Godzheimer's. In terms of God's omniproperties, Christians will frequently talk about God giving us free will and the opportunity to choose a life of good or evil, forgetting not just that God knows exactly what we'll do, but that he's our creator and has made us the way he's made us, so that we'll do exactly what we'll do in order to fit into his divine plan. That's Godzheimer's. Christian excusegists will talk about the need for evil in this world so that we can have this imagined free will in the first place, forgetting that their God will be welcoming his devoted followers into heaven, a place where evil will not exist, but where we'll also allegedly have free will. That's Godzheimer's. They'll talk about a God who gave detailed instructions on how to practice chattel slavery, which caused the death and suffering of millions of black people here in the Americas for nearly 2.5 centuries, forgetting that their God is not just all-loving, but all-knowing as well. meaning he knew exactly the kind of suffering his instructions would cause and gave those instructions to the Hebrews regardless. That's Godzheimer's. Of course, I'm being incredibly charitable here in suggesting that these various Christian excusegists are genuinely forgetting God's omniproperties or his nature, rather than they're attempting to deceive their audience and imagining them too stupid to figure these things out for themselves. But what can I say? Charity is my middle name, right? Especially when it comes to my Christian friends. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.